And we are live on a Friday. I hope everybody has had an awesome week. I've had a really good one this week. A couple of things continue to move forward. I had some really good conversations with a couple of folks, and some exciting things going on, as you can see on the whiteboard. Anyhow, uh, we're going to go back to the kickoff on Sunday. And one of the things I talked about on Sunday was integrity. And when you think about integrity, a lot of people will think about it in the context of personal integrity, our integrity, how we operate as people. Well, there's integrity in structures too, right? So, does the thing do what you say it will do? Um, it, are the things put together the way that they were supposed to be put together? Is there alignment in the way that a structure comes together? Is there alignment in the way that a business comes together? Is there alignment in the way that our words align with our thinking and our actions align with our words and our thinking? So just a couple of different ways to look at integrity. And when you think about enablement inside your organization, it might be important to look at how what are we doing from an alignment perspective inside the organization? Are we staying true to our business? Do we have integrity? Do we have integrity? And if we don't have integrity, how do we know? What are our checkpoints? Where do we keep those tests? Somebody posted earlier today that if everybody is in the room around the table agreeing with all of the things and saying the same things, then somebody's redundant. Somebody is redundant. Now, redundancies are important when you think about reducing risk and preventing some negative things from happening. But redundancies can also add extra weight. They can add extra load. So anyhow, just the way to start the week thinking about things like integrity. Then moved from integrity into a Pat Tillman quote on Memorial Day, and it was around passion. And so think about this: if your passion aligns with what you think about and what you say and what you do, now or there you're living a life of integrity. You're pushing through a life of integrity. You have integrity. So alignment becomes really, really important and continues to be important in a lot of these discussions. And speaking of alignment, Michelle Baker has an event coming up next week. If you've not registered for it, check it out. It's going to be a really good event around developing and creating aligned leaders inside organizations. How do you build aligned leaders inside organizations? So we talked about alignment. We talked about integrity. We talked about alignment in the context of integrity. Then we talked a bit about passion and got into a discussion around design and how we can design scenarios to help accelerate decision making in the interactions we have with our customers. And if I back away from the whiteboard, you can see there's these 3 steps here. Now, in the interactions that you have with people inside your organization, you might need 3 meetings over the course of a week to get things to move forward or make sure that things are moving on track. You may only need 1 of those meetings once a week. You may need 1 meeting with a customer to keep things moving along. You may need multiple meetings with a customer. If we can design for each of those meetings, have a clear set of objectives on both sides, anticipate their objectives, know what our objectives are, have clarity around what our desired next steps are, we can design for each of the next meetings and help to create more forward momentum, ultimately reducing stalls in our sales cycles or stalls in the operations that are being worked on inside our business. And why do stalls happen? Well, stalls happen in a sales cycle for a number of reasons. And the big one is Your solution may not necessarily be the priority, or solving for the pain that the customer has may not necessarily be the priority. It's important for you to assess that throughout the process and make sure that you're aligned, that that pain is important, that that problem is important, that that problem is the priority. And then when distractions come up, be there to remind your customer and help guide them along, help keep them moving along, maintaining that level of integrity. The same thing happens inside your business, right? And what do I mean? Well, the when you're inside your business and you're working through some of these things, what will end up happening is sometimes shiny stuff will pop up. I know, I'm sure you're surprised. Every once in a while, something new comes up. It's an email that is urgent and maybe not important. Heck, it might even be important, but you get these emails that are urgent, or you get these Slack messages that are urgent, or you get these text messages, or you get whatever. They end up being distractions that take you away from the deep work that you're working on, which starts to break away from your integrity, because now you're not aligned. You're not doing work that aligns with what's most important inside your organization. So just a couple of things to think about. We sometimes we overcomplicate our conversations relative to the ones that we have both with internal customers, the people that are on our teams and that we work with across our organization, and we overcomplicate the discussions and the objectives that we have with our external customers too. Ultimately, a lot of the same processes, frameworks, tools apply in both contexts. And then the last thing we talked about yesterday, and this was really only those who are following the YouTube channel on Thursdays saw this one, but I pushed a video live related to friction. And one of the challenges that happens with friction, so we started with integrity, or excuse me, we started with uh, um, our yeah integrity, our words matching our thoughts and our actions. We talked a bit about alignment. We talked about passion. We talked about some of the friction. Well, one of the things that happens with friction, and this will look a little weird with my hands, but if I'm moving faster than the customer is moving fast, then the customer's moving, then what's going to end up happening is we're going to create some tension here and some unnecessary friction. If we're moving in alignment, things will be smooth and there won't be as much tension. If we start moving in different directions, now we've created a potential breaking point and even more friction where we're going to break a deal or we're going to break a project that's happening. Well, it's important for us to continue to assess the conversations that we're having with our customers and validate things with our customers to understand and clarify, are we moving one at the same pace, are we moving in the same direction, are we aligned with things, and our expectations clear on both sides. So just a couple of things to talk about. I know these are recurring themes. They're recurring themes because they're really important. And when we're in the middle of doing the work, working really hard, going really fast, sometimes we lose sight of some of the simple things and we get ourselves out of alignment. We start to lose integrity. We forget what we're passionate about, and we do not design with intention. Hope you have an awesome weekend. That is the recap for Friday, June 3rd. Look forward to seeing some of the comments and the direct messages. Keep them coming. Thank you and have an awesome